Have you ever noticed how some people in their 70s or 80s can remember every detail of a conversation from last week, while others in their 40s can barely recall what they ate for breakfast? It's strange, isn't it? Most doctors will say it's genetics or normal aging. And that's exactly what I used to think, until researchers from Stanford University discovered something hidden in our brain that changes everything we thought we knew about memory loss. If you've ever felt that anguishing sensation, that moment when precious memories slip through your fingers like sand, know that you're not alone. I used to think these moments were just normal, age-related lapses. After all, everyone has them, right? Forgetting is part of aging, just like gray hair or reading glasses. That's what I believed, until a revolutionary study by Stanford researchers revealed something that completely changed what we knew about memory loss. By analyzing brain scans of people experiencing these lapses, they discovered something terrifying: invisible predators literally devouring our neurons, cell by cell. These brain-eating toxins stealthily infiltrate neural pathways, destroying vital connections in your mind, and they're getting stronger every day. It all starts with small things: forgetting where you parked at the mall, freezing when introducing a longtime friend, standing in the supermarket aisles staring at your shopping list, but nothing makes sense. But here's the truly scary part. Every time you drink tap water, eat that comfort food, or even brush your teeth, you're unknowingly feeding these predators, making them multiply even faster. If nothing is done, these toxins will continue their silent destruction, until one day, you might struggle to remember your grandchildren's names at the Christmas Eve dinner. But just when all hope seemed lost, nature offered an unexpected answer. While studying memory patterns in different species, researchers discovered something fascinating about elephants, which led to what we now call the elephant memory trick. A curious secret in elephants' diet that eliminates the true cause behind memory loss and cognitive decline, making them the only living creatures whose brain cells actually get stronger with age. Think about it. Have you ever wondered why they say, "An elephant never forgets"? There's a surprising scientific reason behind that old saying. When you start using this strange yet powerful trick, something extraordinary happens. In just a few days, your mind begins to clear, like morning fog dissipating in the backyard. Words come more easily, names and faces connect instantly, and those precious memories from your first wedding dance, your children's first steps, return with crystal clarity. I know this seems almost impossible, but this very trick saved my father's life after a terrifying episode where he almost killed me with a gun because he couldn't recognize his own son. Today, he is here with me to tell our story, because I don't want you or your family to go through what we went through. In this presentation, I'll also share a shocking test with 5 questions that proves these silent brain toxins are devouring your memory, and how to stop them before it's too late. I'll reveal why brain supplements like fish oil, omega-3s, and nootropics don't work, and why Alzheimer's research and therapies have found that 98% of memory medications fail in clinical trials. And I'll show you how you can use a strange recipe from elephant's memory, backed by the most advanced neuroscience discoveries from a prestigious medical school, to recover a brain sharper than people half your age. But I need to warn you about what you'll find in this video. Before continuing, I need to let you know, this new solution for memory loss is already being used by some elite doctors in the United States. But big pharmaceutical companies are doing everything to prevent most doctors from prescribing this natural solution. That's because it's not a drug full of chemicals, which means big pharma can't patent it or profit from it. And that's why, as this video goes viral, it represents a threat to the entire pharmaceutical industry. Billions of dollars in revenue are at stake. At the same time, this solution can save you hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars per month in medical costs. That's why these pharmaceutical companies would love to see this presentation taken down as soon as possible. So, if you want to put an end to these memory lapses and ensure you'll never lose your independence, watch this presentation now, while it's still available. Hi, my name is Mark Harrison. We've all seen someone struggling with memory loss and thought, that will never happen in my family. And yes, I believe that too. After all, with more than 2 decades leading revolutionary brain health research at Harvard Medical School and the prestigious Memory Disorders Research Center at Johns Hopkins, I thought I knew everything about preventing memory loss. During that time, I published over 300 scientific papers in journals like Nature Neuroscience and the New England Journal of Medicine. Research that has been cited more than 1,000 times by other scientific discoveries around the world. Stanford University invited me to lead their Alzheimer's prevention research program, and I was a scientific consultant to the FDA on 3 approvals of neurological medical procedures that today help thousands of patients. But none of that prepared me for what I discovered when my own father started losing his memory. In recent years, my focus turned entirely to the brain and memory, especially to memory problems that change a person's life. Why? Because I watched my father, a brilliant man who never forgot anything, lose his memories, piece by piece, during what should have been the best phase of his life. That's when I realized that all my knowledge meant nothing if I couldn't help the person who mattered most to me. And of course, to give you a clearer picture of what my father went through and how we overcame it, I invited him to share this story with you. Hi, Dad.
Hi, son. Good to see you.
Thanks for being here.
Of course.
Let's get right to it. Tell us how it all started.
Well, at first my thinking became slower, but I ignored it. Then I started missing important meetings at work. That's when I realized something was wrong. I couldn't remember colleagues' names during meetings. That really shook me. And son, You know how I was always good with numbers and business details.
You were the best at that. You never missed a single detail in a contract and remembered every client's name perfectly.
But I lost all that. My mind just didn't work the same way. The worst part was not being able to follow a conversation anymore. The words, they just vanished. I couldn't maintain a train of thought. I started isolating myself and didn't want to see anyone anymore.
That's why you suddenly retired, right?
Yes, I couldn't handle it anymore. Every day was a blur, everything mixed together. I started making dark jokes about losing my mind, about ending up in a nursing home.
Many people think these memory problems are just part of aging. That's a dangerous mistake. I need to tell you about the night everything changed. It was a Thursday night. I'll never forget it. My father was cleaning his old service pistol, something he'd done dozens of times. When he finished, he looked at me, but his eyes were different, cold, strange. He raised the gun and said,
"Who are you? How did you get into my house?"
My blood froze. Dad, it's me, Mark, your son. But he didn't lower the gun.
"You're lying! My son is 10 years old."
I tried to stay calm, but inside I was terrified. My own father was pointing a loaded gun at me.
"If you don't leave now, I'll shoot."
His finger was on the trigger. I could see him trembling. Somehow, I managed to calm him down, slowly, speaking softly. When he finally lowered the gun, it was as if he'd awakened from a trance. He completely broke down when he realized what he'd almost done that night. I called the best neurologist in the state. After several cognitive tests, the doctor confirmed what, deep down, I feared.
I'm sorry, but your father is in the early stages of dementia. We can try to slow the process with medication, but that's all we can do.
At that moment, I felt like my father was dying in front of me, but not a normal death, where you can say goodbye, mourn their passing, and keep the memories. It was as if he was being murdered in slow motion, day by day, neuron by neuron, while I watched, completely helpless. The man who taught me to ride a bike, who built an empire from scratch with his own hands, who could remember every family birthday and recite entire poems by heart, that man was being erased. And the worst part? He knew it. I saw in his eyes the silent terror of realizing his memories were disappearing, that his words were getting jumbled, that the faces of the people he loved most were beginning to become strangers. My father had dreams. He wanted to teach his grandchildren about business, travel the world with Mom, build that lake house he always talked about. But all of that would be ripped away from him piece by piece, while his body remained there, breathing, like a cruel reminder of the extraordinary man he used to be. Within 2 years, at most, he would need 24-hour care in a nursing home. The doctor prescribed several medications, Dinda, Exelon, AOSP, and even a new one called Donam. Dad, can you tell them what those medications did to you?
I tried everything. I took all the medications they prescribed me. But as soon as I started taking them, my energy just disappeared. I became exhausted like I had never felt before. They also destroyed my stomach. I lost 20 pounds in just a few weeks.
Wow. Did you try anything else?
Everything, fish oil, omega-3, nootropics, even those supplements from Walmart, nothing worked. Nothing, absolutely nothing.
And it makes sense that none of that works. Now we know that these medications and supplements don't treat the real cause of memory loss. That's why they often make things worse instead of better.
It was the darkest period of my life. Everyone started treating me differently, like I wasn't the same person anymore.
That was the lowest point in my father's life. He had always been a strong, competent businessman, but the memory loss triggered moments of total confusion and fear. Hours later, he would remember what had happened and completely break down. As a son, I felt helpless, watching everything happen before my eyes. I didn't know if I could help him, but I knew I had to try. So I dove headfirst into research. I studied every possible treatment, medications, surgeries, experimental solutions for memory loss. And what I discovered shocked me. A study published in Alzheimer's Research and Therapy revealed that 98% of memory medications fail in clinical trials conducted by big pharmaceutical companies. In other words, 98% of these drugs don't prevent, slow down, or minimize memory loss. At best, they temporarily relieve some symptoms. Even so, pharmaceutical companies keep launching new drugs with one single objective: to take money out of your pocket. That's why Big Pharma makes over $700 billion every year, according to the FDA. And with all that money and influence, they have every reason and every resource to ignore or even censor natural solutions that could help you recover the memory you thought you had lost forever. But there's something they don't want you to know. There is another way. And that's why I'm sharing our story today, because what happened after that changed everything. After discovering all this, I felt like I was stuck, not moving forward. I spent weeks away from my wife and children, completely exhausted. But honestly, I was never going to give up on my father. That's how he raised me. So I continued. And in the end, my persistence paid off. After countless hours of research, calls with experts, and consultations with memory professionals, I finally discovered something remarkable. A groundbreaking study by Dr. Richard Jones from the Neuro Research Institute In this study, Dr. Jones's research revealed something fascinating. He showed how our daily life today is completely different from what it was 50 years ago, and what I'm about to tell you now might shock you. Because this changed everything. I thought I knew about memory loss and cognitive decline. Look, every day we're breathing polluted air, eating food full of chemicals and microplastics, and contaminated with things like PFAS and heavy metals, real toxins, infiltrating our bodies, every day. Now here's the scary part. Here in the United States, the situation is getting worse. These toxins aren't just destroying people's health, they're literally burning memories to ashes. It's gotten so bad that even major newspapers and TV channels can't ignore it anymore. They finally started talking about it. And listen to this. According to a landmark study by Dr. Richard Miller, published in Nature Neuroscience, and involving over 10,000 participants, these toxins mess up our bodies. They increase blood pressure, spike blood sugar, and steal our sleep. But that's not even the scariest part. Harvard discovered something even worse. These toxins are actually hunting and devouring something vital inside your brain. That's why today these toxins are called brain-eating toxins. And what they're devouring is the most precious substance in your mind, acetylcholine. But what the hell is acetylcholine, you might be wondering? Acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter fundamental for various bodily and brain functions, including memory, learning, muscle contraction, and regulation of the autonomic nervous system. Remember those family photo albums? The ones where you just had to flip through and you'd already feel like you were back at Christmas '82, your daughter's graduation, or that family trip to Florida, without even having to think much. That's exactly how acetylcholine works in your brain. Think of it as your mind's photo album. When everything is working right, everything flows naturally. In other words, acetylcholine is like your brain's Google, the substance that helps you instantly remember names, faces, and memories. Remember your youth, your 20s and 30s? It seemed like everything was easy back then, right? No forgotten appointments, no blank faces, no embarrassing mental blocks. But here's the problem. The longer you live, the more toxins accumulate in your body. And the more of these brain-eating toxins you have, the less acetylcholine your brain can maintain. And what happens then? Your acetylcholine levels plummet, and your memory starts slipping through the cracks. At first, it's subtle. Maybe you lose your keys, or forget what you were saying in the middle of a sentence. But then it gets worse, much worse. Eventually, your memory becomes so damaged that even familiar faces start looking strange. The people you love most start looking like strangers. It's like watching your family photo album being burned, page by page, memory by memory. And now studies from Stanford's memory lab are proving what we feared most. Low acetylcholine levels, memory problems, high toxin levels, it's all connected. That's why these toxins are called brain eaters. They're literally eating the acetylcholine in your brain. And the worst part, you can't escape them. Recent research from the Environmental Protection Agency shows they're floating in the air we breathe. They're hidden in our spices, sugars, and processed foods. And get this, the same research found that over 200 million Americans are drinking water contaminated with these brain-eating toxins. Are you still wondering why almost 7 million Americans are facing serious memory problems? The sad truth is that right now, countless people are watching their precious memories disappear. All because of these toxins. Maybe now you're thinking, but shouldn't our body have some kind of defense against this? And you're absolutely right. But just when it seems like it can't get worse, scientists discovered something truly disturbing. Look, your body does have a natural defense system against these toxins, a protection that should keep you safe. But modern life has destroyed even this last line of defense. Let me explain. Your brain has a natural cleaning system that works while you sleep. Think of it as a nighttime cleaning crew, sweeping away all the toxic waste. The problem is that now you're being bombarded 24 hours a day by something that's literally frying this system from the inside out. Radio frequencies, Wi-Fi from your home, 5G from cell towers, Bluetooth from your car, GPS from your phone. Telecommunication towers scattered across the country like an invisible network of interference. You can't escape them. These radio frequencies pass through your home's walls, follow you to work, to the mall, especially when you're sleeping. And each of these invisible waves is silently sabotaging your brain's cleaning system at night while you sleep. When you can no longer clean house during sleep, these brain-eating toxins accumulate like toxic waste. They just keep building up, day after day. Ever notice how just one bad night's sleep leaves you more forgetful, with difficulty concentrating? It's your brain literally swimming in toxic waste from the previous day. Now imagine this happening night after night, week after week, year after year. These toxins aren't just sitting there, they're corroding your brain like rust on an old pipe. But here's the truth. This isn't your fault. You didn't choose to live in a world full of these brain-eating toxins. You didn't create this modern lifestyle that destroys healthy sleep patterns. You're trapped in a toxic world, and that was never your choice. Want to know the shocking truth? Big pharmaceutical companies have known this for years. They're watching millions of Americans lose their memory. Why? Because memory loss is a $3 billion industry. They profit from your confused mornings. They profit from the names you forget. They profit from your last memories, while selling you expensive solutions that only mask the symptoms. They stay silent about the real cause. In other words, they don't just profit from your suffering, they depend on it. And they certainly don't want you to know what I'm about to share. The worst part? While they profit from this, your memory could be deteriorating right now. In fact, these toxins may already be affecting your brain. Want to know if you're at risk? If so, I need you to do something important for me now. Oxford University created a simple test that can reveal if these brain-eating toxins are already affecting your memory. Take a moment. Be honest with yourself as I ask these questions. Think about your day yesterday. Did it take more than a second to remember what you ate? When talking with your children or grandchildren, do you sometimes lose your train of thought or have trouble finding the right word? Have you recently walked into the kitchen or bedroom and stood there, unable to remember why you went there? Those reminder notes you started putting around the house for tasks you used to do without thinking, when did that start? And now, be very honest with yourself. Looking at the past few months, do you feel like your memory isn't what it used to be? If you nodded yes, I need you to pay close attention now. These brain-eating toxins may already be feeding on your acetylcholine. And if you answered yes to more than one question, I hate to say this, but the damage may be more serious than you imagine. Your acetyl